Okay, some potential setups for my day trading chat room on Monday. True, TRUE. Crazy move here from 14 to 24 in about a month, and now it's pulled back to the 50-day here, and what, 3-4 days down in a row. So that one I want on potential bounce watch. MBLY, another crazy strong IPO from 32 to 58 plus. Couple big days down though, and hitting the 8-day. I still like to see this come in more, but this is since the big move. This is really the first time it's hit the 8-day. So start watching MBLY on this pullback. Like I said, I'd like to see that one come in another day. Another recent IPO, DSKY. Really nice move here, from the IPO of 16 to 26. Now you're down 3 big days in a row. And I put a line here where it bounced last time. So I really like it if it can get down to there, which is a little bit over 1950 on Monday. I'll look for a bounce in that area on an intraday basis. I got a mixture here, guys, of recent IPOs, some normal stocks, if you want to call them that, and then some thinner stuff. So you're going to see a little bit of everything here. CAMT back down. I didn't like it that much for Friday's session. I like it more now because it's down near these 387 low where it gapped up from last time. So that one's CAMT on bounce watch. VII just goes on bounce watch again. That whole space, VII, ISNS. I haven't been doing anything with these. I think I traded ISNS one day this week, but they're just on watch. So everybody has to understand that. I'm not trying to guess and catch a bounce every one of these days. They're just on my watch list. They're just on a chart, and if I get a proper setup and that space starts to run, then I want to have them on watch. So ISNS and VII are my favorites because they're very low float. You can see the volumes back down to almost nothing. Same with VII. Keep in mind these things went like from this one about $2 to over 6, and now we're back down near 3, near the 200-day, and again volumes falling off to almost nothing. So keep your eyes on that space. VLO, a refiner, 4 days down in a row and very close to the July lows here. Anytime you get, where you're breaking away from the moving averages, to me, I don't look at this as a potential short when it breaks below here. Not on Monday anyway, because it's fallen so far to get there without any pullbacks or without any bounces, I should say. So I want to look for a bounce in VLO around these July lows, which look to be around 47.80-ish. So that one's on watch. I've got a line on my chart, so, on an intraday basis, if this thing's falling, I'll have the line right there. I'll be able to get a quick visual rather than having to go back and look at the daily chart. Little tip there if you're a day trader looking at areas of support. VLO, okay, CMA, pretty nice setup here. Now I just paused the video for a second to add the trend line. You can see the trend line there, and nice volume on Friday. So this one looks like if it breaks this trend line, it's a regional bank, so keep that in mind. That's the space to watch if you're going to try to trade CMA long if the regionals start going. CMA is a pretty nice setup here, right at the trend line, big volume. So up over this trend line, this one could break out. And then ZU, mentioned this I mentioned this a lot on Friday, that it was breaking above this range here, okay? And then also it had kind of an intraday trend line that I was calling for a possible break of, which was right about, I don't know, I can't remember, here. But it was late in the day. I didn't do anything with it. I told people I'm done for the day. But this one looks like it could continue. Breaking out of this base, nice volume. And, well, you could say back in February this was over 70. I don't go by that too often. But there's not a lot in the way of a second day move here. So keep ZU on long watch. XOMA. I actually have an entry price I like on this one, and that's over Friday's high. So 489, this one could really break out. So XOMA. And then let's see, I've got a few really small ones if you want to have some, crazy low volume stocks to watch. GIGA seems to be finding support, so I want to watch that one. SGOC. Again, I've talked about this on Friday's video. From a little over $2 through 4, and now we're working our way all the way back down. So if we hit that blue line there, which is these recent lows, around 207, 208, 210-ish, something like that. I do have an alert on my trading platform. I'm going to look for a long there, or a possible different kind of intraday setup as well. FUEL, you had this pop on Thursday, quiet inside day. Well, it wasn't that quiet. It's actually bigger volume than on Thursday. But if you keep in mind, Thursday's volume all came in the last like 5 or 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, in the last 5 minutes. So this one is worth watching to me for a potential long. But I don't know. I don't have a trigger price for you. That's just going to go on a chart. RADA, another one, had a crazy move and hasn't broken a previous day's high since it started coming down. So I want to keep an eye on that. HPJ, I don't know. This one, it's really strong, and it pulled back and kind of flushed out the last of the stops here a few days ago. But at the same time, now you're up 3 days in a row. So I can't say that I love this one, at least not on Monday. But it does look interesting. It popped to 7 here. These are 30-minute candles. So up through 7, this one might just make a run at that 780 recent high. So I do want to watch HPJ. And I just found this one tonight, MY, which is kind of interesting. Chinese wind power, but you can see a trend line here. So you had a high back here in March, a lower high in June, another lower high in August, and then you kind of had a pop the other day. This would have been Wednesday, then a lower high. So you kind of have a lower trend line within a bigger time frame of a higher trend line, if that makes any sense. So over Friday's high, 325-ish, Thursday's high was a break of that would be 328. So anywhere over 325 could knock out Thursday's high, and then maybe Wednesday's high of 333. So I call that stacked catalysts, and that's what trend lines are, or wedges or flag patterns. They're just a series of lower highs, and then when you start breaking one, you start knocking down the others like dominoes. So that's why those work. You start, it's like you're hitting the stops on the shorts as it rises. So keep your eye on MY. And I expect maybe if it breaks that 325 area with any kind of volume on Monday, you could get pretty quickly through 333 and then test this trend line, which looked to be around 350-ish, 348, something like that by the time it gets there. So that's where I'd be looking. If this does happen, everything I said does happen, I'd be looking to sell, in the 350 area and keeping a few in case it just rips through that trend line. This one could have a big move. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. And then my last one, CERS, a nice pop. This would have been Tuesday, lower high Wednesday, lower high Thursday, and then a nice little green candle on Friday. So this one looks to be maybe having bottomed after that pop, and a lot of support below. So this is a pretty decent setup, up around 413, 414. It might just push through the recent high of 430. All right, so that's my list. We're going to take it slow on Monday and see what happens after the market digests any news over the weekend. And as always, the group in the chat will find plenty of stuff, irrespective of this list, as the day unfolds and we spot runners that way. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.